Hello, welcome to this week's learning module. Just to recap briefly, last week we focused on patient-level efforts to improve health literacy. You completed an assignment to assess the readability of health information on the internet, and you drafted the small group exercise as part of your final project. This week, you'll learn about the relationship between literacy, language, and culture. Learning objectives for this week are to analyze various patient and provider cultural perspectives to understand the impact on health literacy, and to analyze various patient and provider linguistic differences to understand its impact on health literacy. The reading for this week include Osborne, Chapter 15 on interpreters and translators, Chapter 18 on Know Your Audience, and Chapter 29 on Question Asking. You'll also read Chapter 4 on Culture and Society in Health Literacy, A Prescription to End Confusion. And you will learn about the culturally and linguistically appropriate services standards, the class standards, on the Office of Minority Health Think Culture Health website. In addition, you'll get a chance to look at 2 training videos on working with interpreters and providing language access services. The forum discussion for this week is to reflect on the training videos and to consider how providers can integrate health literacy and cultural competency interventions. In other words, integrating teachback along with working with an interpreter. For your assignment this week, you are going to assess the literacy, language, and culture of a health education material. So here I would like to show you that material. Okay, this is a trifold material. It is a very common format for health education materials in health. Imagine you are a patient in a small rural hospital and you're asked to read through this brochure and reflect in 750 words or less. And here I would encourage you to go with less. 500 words would be fine. About what you see are the barriers, and you want to think about the patient population this brochure would be available to. So again, imagine that you are a patient in a small rural hospital in the Northeast United States, let's say, and this brochure was given to you and other patients at the hospital. So you also want to imagine that some of the patients are Native American, and you all see the same primary care provider, and this is one of the education materials that is available in the waiting room. Okay, so again, you're going to read through this brochure and reflect, considering as a patient and considering who this brochure is available to. You want to think about what you've been reading about literacy, language, and culture, and what the barriers would be or could be to health literacy, and then also make recommendations for improvement using the health literacy, plain language, health communication principles and techniques that you've learned about so far. I also want to encourage you to consider health literacy, language, and culture as you continue to work on your final project. So recognize that staff at a hospital will be diverse in terms of culture and cultural background and language, first language. The other thing is that all of those staff will be from different professional training and background, and every profession has its own culture and language. So, for example, acronyms. Some professions use acronyms, other professions don't use those same acronyms, or they may actually use those same acronyms, but those acronyms will mean different things. So my challenge to you is to completely avoid using acronyms in your presentation to this group of staff. As always, please, if you have any questions, post them to your instructor. Have a great week.